It's basically like when you read a book or watch a movie a second time or a third time, you're not the same each time. You take away something different that you haven't seen or noticed before. It's a deeper way to connect and just find whatever's out here to describe whatever's happening here. So perhaps just being aware of the difference for me. What is filling the gap versus the enjoying the gap. And not that either is better than the other, maybe just knowing what I need in that moment. Every step, I would say, is a better version, a version that's more aware, a version that's open to more experiences, being present, seeing the connections, the lightning across the sky. Something in there. Is the answer.
Yeah.
How are you? You look like you're in the right place.
I am in Grandma's garden. So this is I love this place. It hasn't changed much since the 70s. I mean, I have, but it hasn't.
I've been to places like that. It's in some ways it's rather entertaining. My wife's dad's office that I've been to is like traveling back in time to the 80s. All the office equipment and Rolodexes and stuff like that. It's pretty amazing.
It's amazing how time travel isn't quite what we think it is, but like you and I were talking briefly. I guess we're in. You and I were talking. Yeah. You and I were talking briefly about age regression and just an experience of that. Just kind of embodying a moment in time through a memory. I've been with my grandma and we do what we do. We sit at the table, share stories, talk about old times, happy times. And now that I know what I know about revivification, just stay in that. Oh gosh, what else is there? This is fun. A great memory. So we were like back in the 40s, clouds and just doing all kinds of crazy. So it's not awesome. Crazy. It's just inhabiting a memory. Just getting a sense of that, a taste of that moment. So I think that's very interesting and enjoyable and instructive.
Yeah, I'm curious more about the moment in the eyebrow when you said that.
Which one? We have two.
They were both at the same time. I just couldn't pull it off.
Just always a surprise. Always wonder. Something curious, something interesting. If one has curiosity, kind of an interest to go there. And it's always there, it's like we go with, like, here we are, you and I, Amanda and Robert, boom, 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 doing it. And it's just that easy, there's no induction, nothing but just presence. We're just here.
You did this, and I'm like, oh, I'm in the hypnotic cloud all of a sudden.
Yeah. What's happening in your mind? What's happening in the world? Where are you? What's because we're doing a thing, and before I go off into the nebula, I want to know where to cast my beacon to you in this strange and interesting space.
It's interesting just even being in your space, even though we're not in the same space, we are in the same space because you know how that works. This is like being back at HypnoThoughts, the energy of this, which is wonderful. So it's nice to return here from the last couple of days of being at work, which is very much different energy. And it's funny because that is the energy space of utilities and construction, electrical, that stuff. So I think with HypnoThoughts, if I can continue these connections, that perhaps will help me be more familiar with this energy and perhaps allow me, compel me, motivate me to find more of this and make the effort to have more of this. That's because I know in a lot of ways, I've been away from pain as far as I don't want this job anymore. I want something more, this is the toward, I want something more fulfilling, but it's the compare game as well. So with being here, yes, right? Yes, happens often. I'm more aware of it at least. So there's that. So making the effort to have more of this and move toward more of this, I think is helpful. As going in before I even got to HypnoThoughts, I had the thoughts of I'm going to go into this, it's going to be amazing, and then it's going to be over, and I'm going to like crash because that's it, it's over. But it's not over, thankfully. It's just finding ways that it can continue. Maybe not quite the same, just still as awesome. It's just in a different way. That makes a lot of sense. You're nodding with me, and there's rapport as always. So,
And with all of this, what is this? This energy, this it.
I think you already touched on it being just present and in the moment, and with the cards that you laid out for me, or you allowed me to lay out for myself. Actually, the first one was being in flow, and I think that's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
And I laugh because after we spent time together, I've been very much taking on your mannerisms.
Oh God, no!
No, not at all. It's a deeper way to connect and just find whatever's out here to describe whatever's happening here. So, yeah, it's great.
Beautiful. I love how you said, find whatever's out here to describe what's in
here. See, that's in flow because I don't know where it came from.
That's interesting. It's interesting. And just to kind of give a container and some shape to what we're doing, because I've been on a journey, you've been on a journey. There have been some points of intersection, points of rapport, as you called out, points of flow. And because some of what I've taken from this past week, especially with Richard Hill in his mirroring hands, and Richard Hill's, I think he calls it the possibility solution. We just got a flavor, a taste of that. I've been inhabiting that kind of dynamic curiosity space. You have been, to my absolute delight, just there, wherever here is. I feel like I'm on a spacewalk. What? Oh no. What are you out here? You must be out here repairing something. You've just been able to like go there and come right in and flow and loop and participate. I would say participate in the co-creative space. I especially think about, as I mentioned, our special time in the library before the MMHA gathering.
Congratulations!
I mean, that amps it up for me. Can we just take a moment and comment on Mike Mandel? He's like a firebrand.
Oh my goodness. And at one point I saw he was doing push-ups. I'm like, my goodness. He's remarkable, honestly. I think the point where you're getting to before the MMHA aspect of it, there's the spectrum of the experience.
Yeah.
And when there was the four of us in the round, just kind of chatting and having a moment and connecting, and me being able to watch you, and I think it was Carol, if I'm remembering correctly, just there's just something about seeing the moments of you guys sharing music and the joy of music and what it brought to you, and I was able to partake in that. And even if I wasn't singing in that moment, it was very special, and I found it was mm, emotional. It's filling a gap. Yeah, indeed. Deep breath is in. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
As you mentioned that, I think about Deepak Chopra, who I've been quoting a lot lately,
Hmm.
talking about intentions
Hmm.
and, we have intentions, but what to do with them. And one of the first things he recommends is slip into the gap.
Hmm.
And I think we're in it. I think it's that possibility, co-creative flow, call it what you will, just call it.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, with all of this, with where we've been, where we are, we could go, with all of this, what you're experiencing, what would you like to have happen?
More of this. More of the gap. Uh, I want to say the gap from my experience at HypnoThoughts was with other people, but I suppose the gap also with myself would be a starting point. Because I think, as I said, I think that's been lacking a lot. I went to a concert last night, and I haven't been to one since before COVID. There's been many things that I haven't done since before that. Because so much changed, and I kind of disconnected with a lot of music, and uh, I guess not that it's a fake world, but the celebrity kind of whole thing, kind of step back from that. And with, oh, I think just kind of letting go of whatever I think might be associated or attached to that in negative ways. There are positive sides to everything, as like, it could, I can just allow it to be neutral, basically, I think is the point of this, and decide what I want to take away from it, the meaning I want to put on it. And last night I was able to do that with, I went to an Our Lady Peace concert, and it was Collective Soul played before them, and then there's this big message on the screen saying, I don't know if it was warning, it was in red, very symbolic of danger, right? There's big storms coming in. Everyone needs to evacuate, go to wherever they're telling you to go, and we'll give you updates as they come. And it was maybe half an hour had gone by, and Kate, who was there with me, was like, "Do you want to just go?" Because it was raining at that point. And I'm like, "No, I want to wait and to see what the final decision is before I maybe miss out on something." So we waited and finally got the update. It was back on, and it was still raining. But me, because I like to keep things and I'm prepared, I had these clear garbage bags from a previous event years ago in my car. So we threw those on and went to the concert and proceeded to have an amazing time, and just observing people and noticing even Rain, his space, as far as he mentioned his past at one point and kind of did this to it. I'm like, Kate, do you notice that? You notice he's using his space and that's where his past is? Like, very cool things for us both to notice being in this world of hypnosis, and just, yeah, very cool things. So and even just watching the storm in the in between of the concert, and then the pause, the lightning across the sky was fantastic. Like lightning bolts all over the place. It was beautiful. Like if we had left, we wouldn't have experienced that. So then to just wrap it all up with the show continued, played all the great songs, connect with people, everyone's singing, everyone's in rapport because we're all singing at the same time, clapping at the same time. All these things that behind the scenes we know what that means as far as the energy, his I guess in a way he had his own version of James Tripp when I was in that one room at the back and I could see how he had everyone in trance. His trance talking about mesmerism. And in this case, Our Lady Peace had us all in their trance and the connection of their 30 years of experience and being a band together and all the things they've experienced. It was like I would have missed out on that if we decided let's go. But yeah. What did that bring up for you?
First of all, I appreciate the names of the groups. I believe you said Our Lady of Peace.
Our Lady Peace, yeah.
Wow.
Or Canadian band.
That there's something important about that, just in terms of there are certain words that carry a lot of potency and voltage for me. Peace being one of them.
Mm,
Um, and I believe you said collective soul.
that's correct. Mm,
Collective soul, collective unconscious, the distributed intelligence, so co-created social field.
mm-hmm.
These all may be metaphors for a deeper unity
Mm.
that is interesting to me, that is attractive to me, that I appreciate. Love when there's something about that lesson on standing in the rain
Mm.
and sticking with it. I think of that. I don't know if you've ever read anything by Stephen Covey. He wrote The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He says, carry your weather with you. Carry your weather inside.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because many of us, it's too hot, it's too cold, it's inconvenient, it's uncomfortable. But I think there is something to just waiting. And then when you talked about the lightning bolts across the sky, my neurology lit up because I could imagine vast. It's beautiful and lightning is dangerous.
Up there, it's fine. I'm not worried about it. That's funny when you did that because it just made me think of the connections we make in our brain with the electricity.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the universe doing the same thing, perhaps, which was kind of neat.
Yeah.
The communication.
It shows me, yeah. And I think that is embodied in us by our expressions of that. As you were saying, like, what is out there? I think it was to make sense of what's going on here, to make meaning of, to express. I think there's something to that sort of as above, so below, as is the microcosm, so is the macrocosm. Yeah. I'm so glad you had that experience. May I ask a hypnotic question?
Please do.
So with all of that, What are you noticing that's new and different in this moment?
I guess with allowing myself to have this experience and connect to even myself again from the many years with not being to a concert, and that could be anything. I've done this before, this experience. But I'm different. So in a way, I haven't done this experience before because I'm seeing things differently. I'm noticing people very differently. It's it's basically like when you read a book or watch a movie a second time or a third time, you're not the same each time. You take away something different that you haven't seen or noticed before. So it's to, I guess, this being present again, allowing that last night, and just, yeah, being in the moment. And then I guess the appreciation and the gratitude of the moment as well. And I guess being able to share it with you, which is taking it even deeper to look at it, like even just the lightning, and thinking how that can resemble all the connections that are being made for me right now, the electricity, the energy that being reignited is coming to mind. Just that. Maybe perhaps it's just in the gap. Mm. So it's kind of what's old is new again, basically. Yeah. Yeah.
What's old is
How about that?
beautiful. Yeah. And you said reignited. That's an
Mm.
interesting, of all the words in your ever increasing vocabulary, you, that one came through.
Mm.
What, what kind of reignited is that reignited?
I was laughing to hear the clean language questions. Mm. What kind of reignited is that? Reignited. I suppose that's me being reignited. Because from making the effort to go to this event and have that experience, it's allowing me to want to do that more and find ways to have those experiences, more of those experiences, which I, again, was not having before, or for whatever reason, I disconnected and pulled away from. I need to get back to that. Whatever, I suppose, speaks to me, calls to me, if whatever the opportunity is, just allow and be open to the possibilities. And I think even from, like, I got to connect with people in person, and I was able to share those in my Instagram stories, Facebook stories, and then connect with others who are watching that and seeing that, maybe not on this level, because I don't even know what the level this is, but it's quite the level. I think it's just a reminder for me to look and find things that I need to fill the gap or experience the gap. Yeah.
Fill the gap or experience the gap? That's an interesting distinction.
Maybe both. Because the being in the no-ness I think that was the card. And with being in the no-nos and having the flow, if I can allow the flow, then whatever is supposed to happen in that moment. Interesting. That versus the filling of the gap. Is the filling of the gap a distraction? Potentially. It's possible. So perhaps just being aware of the difference for me. What is filling the gap versus the enjoying the gap? And not that either is better than the other, maybe just knowing what I need in that moment.
Interesting. As you went there again to explore the distinction between filling the gap and experiencing the gap, what came through for me is a slight tweak to the word filling and upgrading it to feeling. So if I'm feeling the gap,
Interesting.
I'm experiencing the gap. To my mind, filling the gap means kind of like trying to fill a container with a hole in it. You can never, you know, but feeling opens up whole new. I think you've been using the word possibility. I love that. Love that word. But I guess that's, I think also whatever this level is very vague and non-specific. I think an interesting question that I'm exploring for myself. I'd be curious, what this is like for you, is I keep asking myself, Robert, who, with all that you've learned, all that you've done, with all of the story and learnings and experiences, and in all ways, who are you becoming as a person? And I keep thinking about models. We say, is it like this person, like that person? Well, maybe no. There are certain qualities of that person. For instance, those who I was drawn to at the conference, there are qualities in there that are attractive to me, that I obviously sense there's something in me that is drawn to that, whether I have a label or a name or I can describe it or not. At this point, there's just sort of an inner knowing. James Tripp has been learned from James Tripp, this idea of felt sense. So it's like, so for instance, in my body, this feels right. And I've been going with that. In terms of, I don't know if it's identity or what's emerging, I keep asking, who am I becoming as a person? What do I put on my, what's an appropriate title? If there is, when I describe my work, such as it is, what do I say? How do I communicate that? In a world where certainty can be highly prized, to say I don't know could suggest, I wouldn't say insecurity, but definitely I don't want to say unstable, but I want to say shifting. I want to say kind of dynamic, kind of like I feel myself morphing into Robert version 11.3. I don't even know.
I like that word you used, morphing.
Morphing.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, it's a different kind of texture than just
Mhm.
changing. Okay, that's change is a great broad category. Morphing gives me this kind of like slimy, like sci-fi, like
Makes me think of the
shape-shifty werewolf.
Power Rangers.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, which one? Or all of them?
Mm,
Or you know who
mm.
I used to identify with the ay ay ay. What's his name? The
Oh
little
dear God.
helper.
Alpha?
Ay ay ay. I forget. He's like their little assistant, their robot assistant. And
I think his name was Alpha.
my God, so cool.
How do I
Ay
know
ay
that?
ay.
Still.
Met a few Ritas in my life.
Mm.
Rita
Haven't
Repulsa.
we all?
Oh Lord.
Mm.
Well, that's a lot of how I got into this. Um, some dark magic there. What is that?
Indeed. Hmm.
But that was a long diatribe for me. I don't know what comes up for you on the matter of where are you becoming as a person.
Hmm. It's like a simple question, but then the answer is, who am I becoming? In some ways, I am becoming more of a leader in certain
Mm-hmm.
aspects. In another NLP group that I'm a part of, well, I guess in Enter the Loop as well, because I've taken on the facilitator role there, and I've kind of taken on that role within another group. And I was chatting with Kate about this. I even though currently I don't have any paying clients, I'm still taking on roles that are, I guess, allowing me to grow. So maybe the opportunities I'm looking for are just coming in different ways. Mm. So it's who am I becoming is still the question. Because very often up until I don't even know what certain point, but I was kind of going with the flow and whatever. Like basically how I got into the full-time job that I'm in now was just I met someone they happened to mention it and I'm like I went with it. So it was the I guess in some ways was it really what I wanted? Like it was an opportunity, yes, that I took because it gave me growth and it gave me a more better financial life. I think that was the like the logical, rational brain draw to it. There's the other side to things as far as the fulfillment and like why am I really here? I don't know that I'm really here to connect wires into a terminal block or that does help people in a way. But there's more I guess there's more to it as far as me deciding being more intent having more intention with where I'm going and who I'm becoming. And I think it kind of comes back to a little bit. This is at least what's coming up. I'm thinking of Ryan Montison and his group. He's got, if I'm remembering it correctly, the uh, like philosophy and principles of how of like your business or even yourself, and like the highest, I guess, philosophy is. I'm gonna misquote Zig Ziglar as far as I can have anything I want if I'm helping others get what they want, basically. So if I can take on that as far as who I want to be, and then this is probably a reminder for me to continue doing that. That still doesn't answer who I'm becoming, but I suppose it's a better version of it that I am now. Every step, I would say, is a better version, a version that's more aware, a version that's open to having these conversations, open to more experiences, being present, seeing the connections, the lightning across the sky. Mm-hmm. Something in there is the answer. And I think the answer can and will change. It's, I guess if I'm staying in the flow, that could be different now versus now. So that's just what came up. So who am I becoming? I'm becoming me, whatever that happens to be. So I think if I'm just allowing myself to become me and open to really being me and knowing where it sounds weird, but where me wants to go, who to connect with, it's the same as looking for feedback from people, depending on your context. Need to be asking the right people. I would want someone who is probably in the same space, who is supportive, who is, I guess, able to give me feedback in a way that I could take it and use it, as opposed to someone who is not supportive. Yeah, I think that probably makes sense to whoever's listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, intention of where me is directed, whereas me is hanging out. And I know, yeah, I do tend to connect with others who, when I hear their backstory of transitioning from one job to another into this space, into coaching and hypnosis, NLP, all that stuff, I connect that because obviously that's where I am. They're the however many steps ahead. So I connect with that very much so. And obviously because we're here together, I see parts of myself in you as well. It's I think that's the draw when you can be standing outside of a restaurant and just break into song. Yeah. I know there's NLP terms coming to mind. Perception is projection, so I can only pick up on what's in myself, and that's pretty accurate, I think, with the question that's being asked. So really, I can be in many people, many different people. I see and pick up on different versions. The fun and musical side of us hanging out together and just being in curiosity and play mode. And then there's I guess, the business side and connecting with people on that front and seeing their excitement when they're just how they can help people and coming up with new ideas. Again, another good reminder of noticing those things and noticing that if I'm noticing, it's here as well, and to tap into that more so.
May we heighten and explore?
Sure.
What are your gifts?
My gifts. It's funny. The first answer that comes up, it's like, is that conscious or unconscious mind? Being told that I'm good at creating rapport with others. Gifts, though. I'm a very good listener. I've had many conversations with people at HypnoThoughts before HypnoThoughts where people like to tell me a lot of things about themselves. So there's something in that. Obviously people feel safe to talk to me about many things that are going on with them. So I would say that's a gift for sure, that people would be comfortable enough, feel uh, able to trust me with what they're telling me. Mm. And I don't know, it's just, this is probably definitely a conscious mind thing going to, I'm a very good organizer. And that has its place. But the connecting with people who like basically tell me their life story. That's another level of gift, I would say. Skill versus gift, I suppose. Um, and maybe in way, I'm sure there are many others that I'm just either consciously aware of, or
Yeah.
I think that's a little bit with my internal checks and outer checks.
Yeah.
For me, sometimes I'm not aware of maybe where they are, so it's helpful to
Yeah.
hear feedback on that
Yeah.
because the rapport thing was actually told to me recently.
Yeah.
So
So here's something interesting to notice. When you walk into a room, when you walk into a space, what do you notice that shifts all around
mm, it shifts all around me. Things shift around me. That sounds fun.
you? Get that all.
I walk into a room. So I'm imagining myself walking in. I guess it was the family room, the comfy couch room for HypnoThoughts?
Sure.
Yeah.
Any
Uh,
room will do.
any room will do. That's a more fun room for sure. So, what do I notice? I guess in that space, I'm noticing there's people are standing in there talking. There's furniture with different fun colors. I'm noticing the lighting, which is not great for anybody. I guess in this particular room, it's the energy of the room, even though it's not the room itself, it's the people in the room. Hmm. And now I'm comparing rooms as far as this is HypnoThoughts room versus you said any room will do. Um, like that room I could have probably been in. Like it didn't matter that I hadn't been there before. Basically, I there was comfort in that room from like very quickly. Uh, there was acceptance, I suppose, in that room also. Anyone who came to that space was welcomed, and that's definitely the HypnoThoughts bubble for sure. Um, I'm just trying to think of like real life world scenarios and noticing people.
I love the quotes.
Well, what is real? What is real? There's interesting conversations around what is real, and uh, going back to James Tripp, it's just your imagination. So what do you want to imagine? Yeah, I can go on a tangent with the timeline stuff. That talking with Terrence and Laura about that. Oh, it's very interesting. Mm, but this was about me going into a room and shifting, how I was shifting, I think. Whatever, yeah.
It may not be the it may not be important so much just to know it's a thing, you know. But I think when you were talking about accepting, welcoming, is it comforting? I can't remember.
Comfort, yeah.
Comfort. You know, there's something to that. There's something to that. And if we're talking about presence, I think about our presence as being, you know, there's this idea from some kind of indigenous thought that, you know, medicine, far from being a pharmaceutical, is like just the quality of our life. It's the colors we wear, the clothes we wear, the relationships we have, the cycles and the rhythms we keep. These things are our medicine. Food we eat, our rituals, our, you know, our inputs, our steady diet of all of our sensory inputs are our medicine. So to my mind, where, you know, taking myself to a concert, Lady of Peace, Collective Soul, those are not insignificant uh, movements. Those choices, if they impact my state, they impact my neurology, they impact my chemistry, they impact my choices, they impact what I do in the world, they impact my impact. That's not nothing. And so making the curious choice to assemble in Sin City,
Yeah.
To convene with, for a moment, brief moment with folks on all different points on that, I don't know, parallel journey, or there, you know, there's some, I keep thinking about journeying. I was talking to Nick yesterday, and there were times, and when I say I hallucinate, like, hello, I know it's 25, president is, and, you know, like, I with all of that, I still have these flashes, these hallucinations. There's one moment I was on my knee singing with Mike Mandel. Claudia Rickard was there. Mike and I started singing. Claudia had her beautiful dress and her bunny ears, and then just transported to like some mythic medieval time of like royal magic, you know, like the court, you know. And I walked down those big halls, and then I forget where I was. I think I was down in the casino with a bunch of everyone. Felt like I was in like a spaceport, like either from Rick and Morty or Men in Black or something, like every kind of interdimensional weird you can imagine. And I think
Interdimensional cool.
Yeah, interdimensional cool. Yeah, absolutely. Like so awesome. And the universal translator is hypnosis. The universal translator is translator. You know, there's something in there.
I like that.
Like, yeah, like we don't even have to speak. there's, and you're in,
Mhm.
and that's been really interesting for me. I don't know how I got, but
Hmm.
I don't know what.
Trance later. Hmm.
It's interesting as you say that. I see smoke clouds. There's a fire over there off the distance, black smoke.
Is
I'm
this
sure
real or
that's
hallucination?
it's not a hallucination. I'm looking at it now. Everything's okay. Uh, yeah, interesting. What I don't know. What questions what questions haven't we asked that you think we should?
Hmm. What's next?
What's next at an individual level is to uh, be still and know. That has been my
Hmm.
for me. I'm returning to a lot of like I was imprinted with a lot of Judeo-Christian, a lot of New Age, a lot of influences. Uh, be still and know. Terrence gave me some, Terrence gave me some excellent metaphor about like going on a vision quest. Visions are for me,
Hmm.
not necessarily for everyone. I thought that was really useful, and he's so great. Just
Yes.
has a
Yeah.
way. He has a way to just, whoa, he's like a hypnotic hammer, and even folks, strangers I met. I was hanging out with Mihai for a little bit. Like he's next level. Like, well, that's who you are. You'd never know it on Zoom. But I kept getting the message: say less, say less. As I'm saying more to you now, say it. That's kind of my
Hmm.
not silence, but I'm feeling what's next for me is to into uh, move into silence. I keep thinking that the universe's purest truths can be expressed only by absolute silence.
Hmm.
I can't know them if I'm. So I know where I'll be garden tonight. Oh, the tree.
And
What's
I'm just
next for
thinking of
me?
lots of tears. You're priming
Oh,
yourself, right? So then you can find out what's next easily.
it's all correct. I took her one day because I never really got a chance to
Hmm.
be in proximity or be in that space. Pretty good. She just kind of creates whatever's there. It's really
Yeah.
free. She has a definite core sort of foundation. And then she plays, and it's really liberating.
Hmm.
What's next relationally is really showing up fully, um, even as I'm holding back in some ways, not dimming my light, not,
Hmm.
not unnecessarily, right? There's an
So what do you?
appropriate, yeah,
Yeah. So what are you doing instead of not dimming your light?
going back to that beautiful word flow is finding that within myself first
Hmm.
so that I can engage with and find rapport with that element wherever I am, relation. And if
Nice.
it's not in there, then that's not a relation that I'm interested in by choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, institutionally, we'll see. Starting a new role next week, starting some
That's
new
right.
things. So, see, what about you? What's next?
Next for me. finding the next experience and not letting it stop there. Keep looking for more experiences. Know that basically the isolation is not, it's not a bad thing. It's, again, neutral. It's how I want to utilize it. So for me, what I've done with it up until now, up until a couple days ago, was, I guess, too far on the spectrum end. So now if I can utilize it when isolation is good for me to rest, recover, connect with myself, it's in the flow, I guess, as well. Noticing when I need said isolation versus when do I need the connection, which is on the other side of my page here. And again, connection doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be with people outside of me. It could be within myself. That's interesting. That just hit me now. Yeah, that's interesting. So building on that awareness, I suppose, would be part of the next. And I think that covers all aspects of my life, not just what I term work, coaching, personal life, relations, friendships. Yeah. So maybe just flexibility in that in some ways. I think on the relationship front with Kate, it's having these experiences like last night together was again, it's a whole other level for us both because we are in coaching world together, hypnosis, which is so amazing that we are, because I've heard of others who have not been, and then it changes everything, and maybe not in the best way sometimes. But that we can actually grow together. We've had periods of one was kind of elevating themselves, and then the connection was a little different. So it's just the figuring that out and new ways to communicate. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. I'm sure that's not important.
Probably. I love your laugh. It's great. Yeah, I think just going back to the experiences for us together allows us to have more of those conversations of growth and exploration, and like to be able to share that last night is like, oh, you see Rain's up on the stage and he's talking about his past over here. Did you notice that? That's where his past is? Just to have that awareness of people using their space, because that's something she hasn't, I think, explored in her training as of yet. So just to be able to share enter the loop kind of stuff is really adds in a whole other layer to noticing people and how they interact with others. It's pretty fun stuff. So I think that helps us be stronger and grow together. And it'll be interesting to see where that takes us, because we were working together at one point for her business, which she started, but maybe it was even before that we had talked about working together in a coaching aspect. So there's probably something there at some point. So again, I'm going back to the what's next question. It feels like I've been talking for an hour.
It's that time distortion.
It is. Totally. I looked earlier as 1:30 and I'm like, it feels like we've been talking way longer. Which is it's fun. I like the time distortion sometimes. Except when you've missed an appointment. Oh shit.
I know. Do you have one now?
No, I'm just joking.
You know me. Yeah, I've got about 5 minutes. I was in Vegas when it was my grandmother's birthday. So I'm taking her to her birthday lunch today at her favorite place, Olive Garden, to get her eggplant parmesan or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, when I was at HypnoThoughts, I was trying to order her flowers for her birthday, and something happened with the delivery. And I got here, I'm like, where are those flowers? They never came.
Oh no.
So I went to the website, called the next day. We'll deliver them. It's fine. She likes flowers, green
Mm.
plants. She's totally a
Hmm.
person of the earth and things that grow.
Yes, nice.
I remember when I brought in a sick plant, I brought it in. She said, "Oh, like it was."
She's a
Anyway,
nurturer.
yeah, total
Yeah.
nurturer. We were sitting at lunch. I fixed her up. Well, it doesn't matter, but it's nice to cook for grandma. And we were just remembering grandpa, good times. She used to make him steak for lunch. Be home at this time. That
Hmm.
she'd look after him. And then the doorbell rang. Those flowers arrived, and whether this is true or not, I had to believe that it was important that those flowers be delayed, so that on some level he could know they were from him,
Hmm.
that he was there.
Hmm.
His even though his physical passing
Hmm.
was difficult, strangely, in a weird and interesting way, feel him all around me, feel him speaking through me, those old stories.
Hmm.
The more I learn about Milton Erickson, the more I realized Grandpa could sure tell a long story. And that's taught me how to do that. Just sort of tell stories, share lessons. So he's been with us. She's here. Kika's here.
Hmm.
So I'm going to go do my grandson duties. It's talk about time distortion. No, even though I'm coming on 46 years old, I still, when I'm with grandma, feel like little Rob. Like I'm going to make a
Aw.
mess,
Uh,
So, yeah, this is remembering who I am in time past. That little, I always think of that little child, little Robbie, never went away. There's just sort of like nesting doll layers of the year, just sort of, grown outward. I've
yeah.
grown,
Yeah.
but always that same little grandpa smacking my bottom, raking leaves, and I running through. And then I went indoors and tattled, "Grandma, are you here?" And she scolded him, cracking walnuts back here and being horrified because there were little worms in it. Yeah, just a lot of beautiful memories in
Mm.
this backyard.
It's lovely.
Yeah, yeah. So
Mm.
what's next for me is lunch. Um, hey, as we're closing off here, I just want to just put out there that whatever this becomes,
Mm.
or however this morphs, to use that word again, or
Mm.
whatever comes up, I'm open. I'm available. I appreciate your presence, your energy.
Mm.
I think there's something to collaboration, co-creation, make it a collective. Every tiny island coherence, tiny little
Mm.
interaction is a beautiful, I don't know, it's part of drawing in uh, shared sense and experience of flow.
Mm.
Appreciation, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Here I'm going to quote Chopra again. Attention, affection, and appreciation.
Mm.
That's what it is.
It's the
That's
AAA model.
the AAA model. I love. We're going to repurpose that: affection, attention, appreciation.
Mm.
So yeah,
It's very accurate for today. Very much so.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I very much enjoy watching you speak about your family, your grandma, your grandpa, and just seeing the love is just like beaming, shining out of you. So
oh yeah.
just makes me melt too. So I love seeing that for
Mm.
you.
Well, and lightning bolts across the sky. I
Right?
mean, in the rain.
Yeah. Lovely.
Lovely.
I appreciate that you allowed me to share that with you too.
Thank you. I
Mm.
add that to
Well,
my, it's just all there. Amanda, final word, final gesture.
man, I think just that. Thank you for you. Very much grateful to connect with you on a much deeper level last week and today. So enjoy your time with Grandma.
I will.
Soak it all in and enjoy every moment.
And you. Talk
soon. Take care.
Take care.